So what is the Next Up podcast? As a lot of you know, this is the platform for underrated artists. So this brand new podcast will feature producers, influencers, and the artists of tomorrow. This is where we get behind the scenes, their journey, their story. So without further ado, this is episode 1 featuring Neon Dion.
Got Tommy and gas on my chest. You can't stop me even if I am depressed. I said counting checks, my fans always looking fresh. I said my tropic, when token my chronic, blowing up the gossip, snowing from my eyes, saw some bullshit, going days and nights.
This is episode 1. Episode 1, crazy, exciting, and today we have our first guest, Neon Dion. What's up, bro?
Hey, what's up, MO? How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. How you been?
I've been very, very good, man. I'm very, very pleased and honored to be here, man. I'm very excited to be a part of episode 1. This is exciting.
Hey, man. Honestly, we're putting this thing together. I really wanted the first artist to be on, to be someone who not only is highly respected, but someone who honestly has been a cornerstone of this platform from basically day one, you know?
Yeah, I really appreciate it, man. Hey, Next Up has been just great to me the entire time that I've been a part of your guys' show, and just like the support you guys show for everyone in the underground. It's hard not to support you guys, and just like it's exciting to see how far you guys have come and to be a part of this, man. It's just like I'm honored, man. So I really appreciate, for real.
Hey, I appreciate that, man, and you as well. You know, I've seen you grow over this past year to year and a half, and it's been crazy, man. It's been cool.
Hell yeah. It's a lot more to come, man.
Only getting started.
Only getting started, man. Finally getting things figured out. Things finally starting to fall into place. But it's time to really kick it into 10th gear and get myself to the position I want to be in, and the people around me that I want, the position that I want to see them in as well. So
damn right.
Yeah.
Damn right, bro. And I know you've definitely had some big stuff happening recently, and we're gonna get to that. But really, to start off, I do want to ask you. So, how old are you? Where are you from?
So I am 24 years old.
Okay.
90s baby. So
Hey.
And I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I used to move around a lot as a kid and everything like that, but been posted up here in St. Louis or the St. Louis Metro for the past about 7 to 8 years or so. So
Hey, okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, so like you growing up, you want to speak on just kind of what that was like? You have any siblings, family?
Yeah, so pretty much I grew up in a military family. I have one brother, and so whenever I was young, for the first like 10 to 13 years of my life, it would be like every couple of years we would have to move. So I was born in Omaha. We ended up moving out to D.C. So actually I used to live in Virginia, like in Fairfax, about 15 minutes outside of D.C. And so we moved across the country again out to Washington State, and then to Rhode Island. So right across the country again, and then down to Illinois, and then now, St. Louis. So it's been a lot of moving around, a lot of adjusting whenever I was growing up. I had a pretty good upbringing and everything like that. And then pretty much the reason we ended up kind of getting stuck here was after we had moved to Illinois, couple years after my dad had been working up here, he had ended up passing away at a pretty young age. So we ended up not really having to move as much, and we kind of settled here. My mom started to work on her, career and things like that, out in this area, and just, doing whatever she needed to do to take care of my brother and I. And so that was like one of the big catalysts and everything that got me into music, and pretty much getting to me where I am today. But so growing up was an adventure. There was a lot of good times, a lot of hard times, a lot of points where I kind of had to grow up quicker than I would have to, and in that time, I eventually found just peace and solace in music, and I realized that that's what I was passionate about, and that has led me to where I am today, I guess. So I know that's kind of vague,
Hey, no.
kind of quick, but yeah.
Well, I mean, I can imagine really always having to move, not really being able to make relationships,
Yeah,
always just everywhere. I can understand honestly why you really was able to just kind of focus on something that you were passionate about, that was just no matter where you went, you had that.
100%. Yeah.
So that definitely makes sense. And so how old were you when your father passed?
So I was 13. So I just started so it was in March of 2009. So I was in seventh grade. So it was kind of like an awkward time. It's like right around the time when you're becoming a man, and it was like a
Yeah.
really important time, for needing your dad around for certain things. So there was a lot of lessons I had to learn by myself, and uh, I think that looking back on it, obviously it's like you don't want anything tragic to happen in your life, but I realized that there are certain lessons I've learned in becoming a man that I don't know if I would have learned if my dad had not passed at such a young age. So I kind of look at it as, obviously something that was very painful in my life, but at the same time, in a way, it's like, turn a negative into a positive, and also look
Exactly.
at it as a blessing. And I know that, dad's watch over me. So just got to do the best that I can, be the best type of man that I can be, and try to, represent the family the best I can, and just live up to the person that he was, because he was an incredible human being. So,
Absolutely, man. So you said you're the oldest of your siblings, or
so
no?
I'm the
You're the
youngest actually.
youngest. Okay.
Yeah. So,
Um,
yeah, I got
Gotcha.
my older brother, who is turning 20, or no, wait, let's see, he was born 91. So he just turned 28. Yeah. Yeah.
I was gonna say I'm sure he kind of had to take up the role
Oh,
as
big time.
being like a figure for you, at least at that time.
100%. And
Yeah.
so, Drake and I, my brother, we ended up getting a lot closer after my father had passed. And so I love my brother to death. We're both like very passionate about the things that we do. He's pursuing acting, and, finally starting to get some traction and everything with his career on that front. So it's like we always are motivating each other and just like pushing each other to be the best we can be. And he was by far, besides my mom, obviously one of the biggest influences in like pushing me to become the man that I am. And he was also the one that actually really got me into music, because he brought me my first microphone. And it was like an old version of Pro Tools back when I was 13. And that was like when I first started recording stuff to be able to, talk about what I was dealing with. So Drake was kind of the catalyst that got me into recording and like engineering and being an artist. So
Wow.
like if it wasn't for Drake, there may not be a Neon Dion, which is kind of crazy to think
That's
about.
crazy,
But
man.
yeah,
And speaking on the music, when I listen to your music, what I hear more than anything is you just really pouring your heart out, man. It's very emotional, it's very deep. You know, kind of numbing the pain type of music. And is that how it started for you? Like, is that because I know, like you said, with everything going on, is that the first thing, is like this was a way to express all that pain through the music, or did it start with something
yeah,
else?
yeah, 100%. It was because when I was like around 13, it was one of those things where at the time I used to hang out with my friends, and a pastime of ours would be freestyling, right? So someone would just throw on a beat, and it would be a real fun thing for us to all do together. So that kind of was what got me started into having an interest in music. And then when my brother had bought me the microphone, I was like trying to find an outlet to be able to talk or like speak on the things I was going through, because my mom had to pick up, like a whole bunch more work shifts. She had to make a whole bunch of sacrifices to be able to help, keep us afloat and everything. So me not really having the ability to talk to my mom, and it's nothing against her because she was doing everything she could to make the best life that she could for me. But music became that outlet. Music was kind of like my therapy, and it wasn't one of those things I took seriously. I didn't really care if people listened to it. I didn't pay attention to mixing or mastering. It would literally just be I would get the microphone, I would write down what it was I was feeling, I would put it down, and that would be it. And I would listen back to it if I needed to, just kind of reflect on certain things that I felt, certain points where I was growing in life, certain points where I felt like I was not living up to my potential. So it was almost kind of like a way to take everything internally, make it external, and then also be able to view it and understand things and kind of get a grasp on situations in life and where I was headed in life, I guess, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, music is therapy, man. Like
it really is.
It really is, and I know that's what it was for me at a younger age when I was going through a lot of my personal things as well. So I can definitely relate. To that.
100%, man. Music's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, bro. So at the time of you getting started, what were you listening to at that time?
I would say my main influences at the time, believe it or not, were actually Mac Miller and Wiz Khalifa, which was like a lot more happy music at the time. So I wasn't really always into the underground sad scene, with like how alternative hip hop is kind of taking over now. That kind of like evolved over time. Around that time, I was also listening to some alternative bands, Green Day, My Chemical Romance, Good Charlotte, Blink-182, and there was like some screamo stuff that I got into. I can't even remember the name of the bands or anything like that, but it was mostly Mac, Wiz, maybe some Currency, Eminem, of course, was just like always one of my go-tos. And I'm trying to think. I think I'm forgetting something right now, but yeah, right off rip, the first two I can think of were Mac and Wiz being the two biggest I listened to at the time.
Hey, that's awesome, man. And I should have mentioned earlier, as far as your music, you can rap too, bro.
I appreciate that, man.
You can rap too.
I can break it out if I need to, and I appreciate that, man. Yeah, a lot of people, they like more of my melodic stuff, but here soon I'm actually going to try to be breaking out a little bit more of the rap style and, some old school stuff and kind of being able to show off my freestyling ability at a different extent than what I've done before. You guys will just kind of have to see as it comes, but I'm trying to revert back to things more than just the melodic rap, which I enjoy freestyling. I like being able to sit there and actually be lyrical, spiritually. I was just but so it's just like I grew up on a lot of that type of stuff and a lot of that type of rap, like Earl Sweatshirt and everything like that as well. Tyler the Creator, all those guys, Vince Staples. So, I'm all about it. And so yeah, I like being versatile. I like being able to work on my craft in every way that I can.
Absolutely. So. Hell yeah, man. So one thing that I really wanted to ask you, and I've actually been wondering this for a while now, the name Neon Dion.
Yes. Okay. So, kind of an interesting creation. Originally my rap name was Leo, which did not last long, but the reason I had it as Leo, was because my zodiac sign was a Leo. It was also like a representation of a lion or a king or a leader, and pretty much the things that I was saying in my music and hoping to be able to make a difference. And I kind of evolved into what Neon Dion meant and what it would become. So it was like the idea behind my music was I was trying to provide light, to people that were in dark places. So I wanted to incorporate something with neon. It could have been just neon. I was even thinking like Neon Dawn, the number one. I don't really know how to describe, alpha, but like I provide light in dark times. But then I started to I was also a big Patriots fan growing up because I did live in
Boo.
Rhode Island for a little bit. Yeah, I know. Whatever. Yeah, 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 yeah. But Neon Dion used to be um, a big player for the Patriots and a couple of different football teams and everything back in the day. But he was very well known for his work ethic,
Yeah.
and that was another thing that I am proud to be known for. A lot of people around here locally know me for my work ethic. Because it's just like I wouldn't say next level. I'm not gonna sit here and brag and say that I'm better than anyone else, but when it comes to grinding and trying to be the best I can with my craft, if it's engineering, writing lyrics, doing whatever it is that I'm needing to do, like I'm doing it. And I learned that from my mom, and so I kind of incorporated the idea of the work ethic as well as like the bringing light to dark situations, and I combined that with the Neon Dion name, and so it's kind of an embodiment of two different parts of me that I would say I'm proud of, and I'm also consciously trying to convey a message of like, making your life better, as well as if you want to be able to achieve something, if you want to be able to go and chase your dreams, you have to put the work in to do it, and you're perfectly capable of doing it as long as you take the time to work on your craft and figuring out the ropes of everything that you're doing. And I still have a lot to learn, and that's why I'm still working as hard as I am. And I know that I need to work a lot harder as things, start to progress. But just know nothing is handed to this world or to you in this world for free, and you need to earn it. So
Absolutely, man. And
yeah,
that's deep. And honestly, that makes sense, and that's perfect. I actually love that, for real.
thank you, man.
And to be honest, I can definitely attest to the hard work that you put in. I would say since we've started doing this, you are one of the hardest working artists that I've seen out here with the music on social media. You sense that presence about you
Thank you,
just
man.
of just the whole work ethic, man. So I respect that, man.
Thank you, man. I really do appreciate that, and I do my best, and I try to convey that to other people. I want to be able to have people close to me have the same mind state.
Yeah,
I want,
push them too. Yeah.
100%, man. It's like you gotta bust your ass if you're wanting to do this. Whatever it is that you're passionate about, you have to bust your ass.
So you mentioned engineering. So you went to school for sound engineering, correct?
So I'm currently in school for audio engineering. So actually, kind of an interesting story with that as well. So I pretty much like started engineering my own music a couple of years ago, and that's when I was still under the alias of Leo. Everything that I mixed was just we could just say booty cheeks. Yeah, so it was not very good, but I kept practicing and kept working on it. Eventually would get kind of better, and would continue to look up tutorials and all this type of stuff. Eventually getting to the point where I felt pretty comfortable with working with Logic Pro X, and whenever I had actually moved into my new spot, I had ended up opening up my own recording studio and started taking clients and just getting better from practice and kind of throwing myself into the flame and having to just kind of deal with whatever would happen in the session, learning how to do stuff as I went. And then eventually I ended up getting an internship up at Fat Buddha Productions, which is pretty much the most famous recording studio in St. Louis by far. It's where Nelly used to record. And Comethazine, a couple other people that have come out of St. Louis, and that's when I really took some more time to grow in my craft of engineering and learned a whole bunch about Pro Tools, yada yada yada. Pretty much in the internship, I realized this is what I really wanted to do with my life, and I was appreciative of all that I had learned and I had taught myself, but I wanted to be able to expand on that, and so I ended up applying to Webster University here in St. Louis, which is actually the #1 audio engineering school in Missouri. So I was like, if I'm honing down my craft, if I want to be the best I can be, I need to, go balls to the wall. And so I'm in school for it now, and I am very blessed to be in the position that I'm in because, people that I'm working with are just phenomenal. Carl Napa, who used to be Nelly's main engineer, actually, and Just the gear and equipment, just all these things that I'm learning up there is just fascinating. And so I'm really excited to see where my engineering will go as well, as my artistry, and just the plans in the future to open up, a multi-million-dollar recording studio, and just there's a lot of plans, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so engineering is just as much of a passion for me as being an artist is, and being a producer and being someone that can also help put other people on, I guess. So I'm just excited to see how it will be whenever I graduate, and just I'm excited to see how much more I'm going to learn. There's a lot that I've learned at this point, and I'm happy with where I'm at currently, but I'm just ready to be able to do some even crazier stuff, and just I don't know, and be able to apply that to my own music as well, which will only improve the quality and everything as time goes on.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
So, promoting sounds.
Yes.
Find myself.
Yes.
Dude, that's dope, man.
That is very dope, and believe it or not, it was actually a surprise.
Ah.
Yeah. Do you want to hear the story about this?
Please, yeah. Let's hear it.
So, pretty much, I had, how on SoundCloud you can check your analytics to see who's been listening to your music, or like.
Right.
Yeah. So, pretty much for a while, I had been tracking my SoundCloud, and I had seen Promoting Sounds like on the list of people that had been checking out my SoundCloud, but I was kind of like, nah, man, like that's not the real Promoting Sounds. There's no way. Like I'm not anybody, man. They're not looking at my music. And one day they ended up following me on SoundCloud, and then Instagram and Twitter as well. And I was like, blown away by it. And I had sent him a message over Instagram. I was like, hey, man, I'm a huge fan of the YouTube channel. I just want to say thank you so much for following me. It means so much more to me than you know. And, he ended up coming back with like, no problem, man. Like I've actually been a fan of your SoundCloud for a while. And I'm like, oh, what? Kind of like, oh shit. Like, sorry, I don't know if I can cuss on here, but, but I was like, oh my gosh, dude, like that's that's an incredibly humbling feeling for me, because it's like I know how hard that I've worked, and it's just like to have just such a massive platform reach out to me and just be like, yo, like I like your stuff, man, like I really rock with it. And he's like, feel free to send me music whenever. And I was like, okay. And I ended up sending him an email, and I never had heard a response, anything like that, about it being approved or being uploaded. And I literally just kind of gave up on it for a little bit, and I was just like, okay, maybe I'll just need to work on something, try to make a better song, and then submit that. We'll just kind of go with the flow. And I got home from class one day, and I had gotten on YouTube, and I checked my notifications, and since I'm subscribed to them and they have the notifications on, I saw Neon Dion find myself on Promoting Sounds, and I lost it, dude. I started like running around my apartment, like, what? Yeah, like what? Like,
bet, man.
Yeah, and I
That's
just had
huge.
It is, man. I just I started FaceTiming my friends, and just like I had to reach out to them and just tell them how grateful I was, man. And I just. It's so baffling. It's still so humbling, and I'm just I'm excited to be able to work with him again in the future, and just seeing where things move from now. But a lot of things have already started to change ever since Find Myself was posted on there. There's been just a lot of positive feedback and energy, and just support that has come since that time. And I'm really, really excited for the future, man. Big shout out to Promoting Sounds. Like, honestly, very, very supportive of underground artists. He doesn't care about the size that you are, or the fan base. He doesn't care about the number of plays that you have. It doesn't matter. It's like, if it's good music and you care about what it is that you're doing, he's more than willing to be able to put you in a position where your music is heard. And I think that's just really cool. That's especially awesome. To be at 100%, be at a position where you have such a big following, and still be able to be like, have the humanity about you, and not let any of that, take up.
Yeah, you can understand how when you get at that level, some would kind of, so I definitely get where you're coming from, but sound like really, really supportive and great platform over there promoting sounds, man.
Definitely, man. And so, yeah, I'm blessed. I'm very, very blessed, man.
I know when I saw the post myself, bro, I was just extremely happy for you, man. I was
I,
like, man, like Neon, he deserves this, man. Like I was, man, it was really, really great to see, man.
I really appreciate that, Mo. You have no idea, man. Like, yeah, I really do appreciate that, bro. More than you know, dude. I still can't believe it, dude. I still. It doesn't feel real. It feels like a dream, dude.
Like you said, it's just the beginning.
It is. It is. That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
Just the beginning, man. But yeah.
So, do you plan on being where you're at right now for a while, or do you have plans to move somewhere? Or?
Definitely have plans to move. Yeah, so I love St. Louis. I love the people out here, but there are definitely some negatives about the city. Murder capital of the country is one of the negatives. So can find yourself in some pretty sticky situations in the city out here. So, and I've been kind of looking at where I would want to move in these next few years, but I'm thinking Atlanta is going to be the move in about 2 years. And the plan is to start my studio up down there as soon as I graduate, and then, hopefully making a big impact in the Atlanta scene. But I'm also trying to be able to be at the point where I can just travel to LA, back to Atlanta, and then up to New York. But Atlanta right now is looking like the main hub of where I'm going to be moving. So
it's pretty wild that you say that, because that's kind of looking like where I'm going to be here shortly. So
yes,
yeah.
you already know we're going to have to link, man.
Oh yeah, yeah, bro. Come on now.
Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, we're gonna have to celebrate, man.
Oh, bro, for sure.
100%. But yeah, dude, that's exciting. Atlanta's. I've heard a lot of good things about Atlanta, man.
The music scene in Atlanta is just it's something special about it,
It
just
is.
Kind of draws you in.
100%, man. And I heard that the cost of living out there is crazy cheap for like really good quality living. So,
hey,
can't fight with that. And then you're close to the ocean. Yeah, and you're close to the ocean. Yeah, man, close to Florida as well. It's
right in the middle.
Hell yeah. So,
and we're about like 4 or 5 hours away. So I'm not too far from family.
Yeah, so definitely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, one more thing. I do want to know, like, where exactly do you see yourself in about 5 to 10 years from now? Or where would you like to see yourself?
In 5 to 10 years.
As far as your accomplishments, your state.
So I would say 5 to 10 years, I would want to be living in Atlanta. I want to be able to have bought my mom a new home within 5 to 10 years. I want to be able to be a full-time recording artist that is a national recording artist where I'm able to tour. Eventually, I think around that time, may settle down, be married, have a couple kiddos running around, and at that point, I really want to have a full functioning recording studio up and running that is nationally known as well. That is just like, if you are coming to Atlanta, this is the place you want to be. If you want to be able to progress in music and become a better engineer or producer or just have the best quality you can, I want my studio to be known as that. So I'm looking to hopefully own multiple businesses, and like I said, full-time recording artist that's touring around the country and have a family. So that's the goal. Yeah. And and independent.
Exactly.
Independent.
Yeah.
Not we not signing a deal unless they come in with like 50 mil, which I already know they're not going to. So that means we're not signing a
man.
deal. Yeah, no.
If recent history has shown us anything, it's that you can do it independently. You know,
100%,
so
man.
and with your work ethic, what we've seen so far, just keep going, as I know you will, man.
Same with you guys,
Yeah.
dude.
Hey,
Same, yeah. I see how hard you guys work, and it drives me and it motivates me. And it's also really cool to be able to see the progress that you guys have made. And just like this, I'm guessing it's probably been about a year and a half now.
close. Yeah, close.
Yeah, getting pretty close. And it's just like seeing how far you guys have come in just that year and a half, or a little bit less than a year and a half. But just keep it up. Like, I'm really proud of you guys, man. I'm really proud to see where you guys are going with the content, and I'm really excited to see where you guys are in 5 to 10 years. And I think that it is going to be an empire, and there's not going to be a household that does not know about Next Up. So, speaking it into existence.
Speak it into existence. You know what?
Law of attraction, The Alchemist. Study your laws of the universe. Shout out X. No,
yeah. Nah, speaking facts, man. And I really appreciate you, bro, for real. Like I said at the beginning, you really had been a cornerstone of what this platform has been able to build. You were a huge part of that and still are. So I'm hella grateful for you, and I know there's great things to come, man. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Thank you, man. Same here, and I'm looking forward to the future memories that we're going to be sharing together, man, because,
oh, yeah.
Everything that's coming, it's coming for everyone, and I can feel it in the air, and I can see a lot of things just as they're moving and as they're happening and unfolding. I think that it's finally time for things to start falling into place, and yeah, I'm just I'm like I said, I'm honored again, and I look forward to next time we do an interview, being with you in person, man.
Oh yeah,
clanking a brewski. Oh. And cheers into everything that we've done in these past few years.
Success,
and,
yeah,
absolutely, man. And to health and good fortune and positive vibes.
Damn right. I don't think it's too far away.
I don't think it is either, man. It's not a matter of if; it's a matter of when.
Exactly. Well, Neon, it was definitely a pleasure having you on today, man. And yeah, like I said, man, just keep doing your thing. And next time we do this interview, I think shit's gonna be hella different on both sides. On both sides, man.
I'm gonna be pulling up with a gift for you, bro. Just you wait, dog. Like you and Dream, man. I'm gonna have something special for you guys whenever I pull up, man. So, hell yeah.
Much love, bro. Much love.
Much love, and thank you again for having me, man. Yeah, it was awesome. Shout out to everyone of the Next Up fam. You guys are awesome. Continue to show support to both Mo and Dream and the Next Up family. There's a lot of good things coming in the future, and if you guys don't know, you know now that Next Up is the place to be in the underground. So,
hey, thank you, bro.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, of course.
You've been listening to the Next Up podcast. If you guys enjoyed it, definitely smash that like button for us. And for more content on underrated artists, definitely smash that subscribe button. Until next time, it's your boy Mo. I'm out.